Radio check. There we go, everything works. Welcome, we've reached the end of qualifying and Excellence is on pole position at the moment. Apologies for not being able to broadcast you the rest of it, but we are here now. Let me just put up the announcement. Okay. Both Ferraris are currently cooking like crazy at the moment. Very good job from them. Excellence P1 followed by Mumford K5. Let's get all the data up now. Hi Ice Cream, nice to see you. Now this will be a tough one because my controller's on the verge of dying. It's really touch and go here, but let's see what can happen. Excellence is invalid, so he's not going to improve any further. Mumford is in sector 3 at the moment, but he's down on his delta, so he's going to need to find a lot of time to improve it. I think he might have been wide, but he managed to just about keep it on the road. K5M5 goes pole. 21-1, very good stuff from him. Can Mumford challenge him? He's a 10th down on his previous best. It's going to need a massive final sector. What's the time going to be as he crosses the line? And he can't improve. And so Bert starting his lap. Who's the next guy to finish? Zephyr's invalid. Angie goes up into the top 3. That is D3 and D2 where he has performed wonders. Excellence is slow. Who can stop him? Robot Reaction will be the next one to cross the line. No, Mumford is there as well. Robot Reaction. Invite you. Hessam. Okay. It has to be quick because otherwise you're not going to make it. You won't have time for quali, so you'll be starting from last. Now make this quick. Robot Reaction out of the final corner, and he's about to cross the line in his Haskell right now. P6. Good stuff from Robot. NSO Bert is up, and the Aston Martin affects him. I can't see the delta. We'll see when he crosses the line. Where does he go to? P6. Good stuff from him. NSO Burt is 2/10 up on his time. This could be a shot at swinging for pole. K5 has got it at the moment. It's a Ferrari 1-2. Can the Red Bull split him? He cannot. P3 for him. And Mumford's invalid, so this is your final grid to start the race with. K5 on pole, followed by Excellence, and then NSO Burt. Angie Q3, Mumford, Fexin, Robot, Zephyr, Arweb, and Lebob. I can't mute you in game. Oh, that's not good. Well, yeah, sorry about that. I guess I don't think you should hear me when you're driving though, Hassam. That shouldn't be a problem. So, K5 kicking off the season strong with pole position. Ferrari 1-2. Looks like Stein's regime has finally kicked on strong. It's been a while since I've seen Ferrari do anything good, IRL and in HDR, but they finally delivered now, and they've got both their cars locking out the front row. NSO Burt in P3, stepping down from D1. He's doing a good job there. Angie won the race yesterday, but this is one div higher, and he's still right in that fight. Then it's Mumford, Fexin, Robot, Zephyr, Arweb, and Lebob, and it's very close between the top 8 cars, really. Not much to separate them. No kick on grid. Damn Lim. You are echoing, bro. This is my backup headset. I don't have a choice here. There is a lot to explain. I'll do that after. I can't say it on stream. Lem is redeemed ear rape. Oh shit, the battery's low. Alright. then reconnect it. Right, now we can start the ear rape. Hello, hello, hello. I wonder if the grid can hear me. Give me my Mercedes, says Hassam. Unlucky. Oh no, it's gonna disconnect again in a sec. Watch this. It keeps giving me the DualShock battery low. This semi-broken charger ain't doing me much favors. Oh my god, just get on the desk, man. Oh. Right. A stand. Right. Let's try this. I'm gonna have to hold my controller in a really awkward way if this is gonna have any chance of working. Ear rape. I like it when you guys redeem some ear rape. Ear rape. No one took Logan Sargent's car. That's a lonely Williams that Angie has. It's 'cause Big Melt's not here. No one took Daniel Ricciardo either. Can I redeem end stream? You can come to my house and shut down my Wi-Fi. Hessam. No, 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 it's doing the same thing again. When are we actually getting underway though? It is charging now. It is charging. Okay. When do we ready up? Last to first challenge. Best of luck. 5 red lights for the Qatar Grand Prix. And we go, racing in the desert. Good start from both Ferrari cars. Let's see who got the better start now. Looks like K5 has gotten right away from Excellence. NSO Burt slips into the pack. Angie P4 trying to get up into the podium place. Is he going to get that move done? Not quite, but he has now got it on Burt. And Excellence still P2, but he has pressure from Angie. And now the Ferraris are being split, and we're on board with Robot going side by side with Mumford Plays. Let's go out to the outside angles to see what's happening. There's a McLaren and Haas still going side by side. Robot and Mumford are battling away hard, but it's K5 in the lead, then Angie in second place, then Excellence third. Weber's tumbled down the order. Hessam up to 10th place, Fexen's dropped 3, Leebob's up 3, Robot's up to 6th place, Mumford's P5. But what a start from Angie. He's the biggest gainer out of everyone, and if we look at the tyres, that's a lot of cars starting on the hards. Much more than yesterday. Yesterday we had many more cars on the mediums, but this time it's the hards. And let's see how Angie can keep up with K5 M5, because that one's going to be a very tough one for Angie. K5's a formidable opponent. Let's see if he can deliver under pressure. Angie now trying to get away from Excellence. K5 still has a full stock of battery, so that does show the pace advantage. But NSO Burt's trying to pressure Excellence early on without DRS, but with the battery down the inside, NSO Burt puts that Red Bull up into the podium places. And Hessam, even though he's listed as Red Bull, will be scoring points for Mercedes afterwards. because that's the team he drives for, and EA did not put him in the right car. Hessam P10, then Fexin P9 as the sole Aston Martin car out on the track. R-Web in the V-Carbs at the back, losing even more time. It's pretty much a tragedy for R-Web as it stands. Yep, it is charging. Mumford Plays might be the next one to take Excellence's position, because he's really slow on the hard tyres at the moment. They do take a while to fire up around Qatar, but once they do fire up, then it's a very big pace advantage that they hold to the medium runners. Excellence will be on the overcut strategy. It's all about trying to just stay within a few seconds of the car ahead, and then once you're on fresher tyres, you'll be gaining on them in seconds instead of tenths. That's the first track limits pen of the Grand Prix. I expect there'll be many more to come. Sefer, 3-second time pen. K5 sets fastest lap, but Angie is coming straight back at him. K5 has still got a lot of battery, but Angie might now get the position. Down the inside and into the lead goes Angie. He might become a double winner of both D3 and D2 with the rate he is driving, and he's eligible to reserve for D1. So who knows? We might get our first ever triple winner across Qatar. This might be the Angie domination that no one would have ever seen coming, but looks like Big Melts Williams doing really good job at the moment. Angie up into the lead of the race, but K5 has a lot more battery to start burning. Angie can now start recharging though. This is his chance because K5 has a lot more battery, so he's not going to get away. But if he starts charging, which he is, then K5 will be on the back foot, having not got track position and not having his battery advantage. NSO Burt with a 3-second pen for track limits. They are just going to keep on rolling in gradually. So those are the position gains. Angie from P4 to P1 turned a very good quali into a very good race start. And K5 M5 will be on the scene very quickly to try take that position away from Angie. Oh, right on board with Angie. Hessam 3 seconds. Yesterday he got 25 seconds, so let's see if he's going to do anything now. Angie goes off the road. K5 takes an easy place, and K5 is back into the lead of the Qatar Grand Prix. Angie down to second. Excellence following NSO Burt within about half a second, but behind him there's a lot more pressure coming from Mumford in the McLaren. Looks like there's no way to force a move there. Let's see where he can try and make his passes. Mumford gaining and losing time again. It's slowly fluctuating between them. Angie's now recovered all his battery and he's still on the back of K5. There was nobody to invite, was there? Just a nice little check. Angie 4 tenths away. We have a battle for the lead, and we have a battle for 5th place. Robot Reaction gets past Mumford. Mumford's dropping down. Mumford has left, actually. He's losing a lot of places, and it's... I don't have him added. That's why you add the comms before the race. Unlucky, but nothing I can do. That's one McLaren down and out. Hessam past Fexin and past Mumford. Double overtake from Hessam. One of them's disconnected, so it's still a very nice single overtake to go up into P8. And starting on the hard tyres and starting to make his way through the field. Angie versus K5. K5 M5 has a full tank of battery and he won't let Angie get away from him that easily. And Angie is doubtless going to try stay with K5 as well. These two are locked in battle for the moment. Nothing to separate them as we continue winding our way through these corners to try figure something out. Angie half a second away. This is roughly the time where you could try get the DRS on the car ahead and make a move. K5 getting closer. Angie's using his battery in a defensive mode and he can't do anything. I'ma stop watching, this shit hurts more than seeing diamonds ahead. Poor old ice cream. Your car's at all the way at the back. Let's see if Mumford added me. Yeah, he did. Alright, let's see. Mumford plays, gets a game invite. And Mumford's back in, but he's lost a lot of time now, because that's what happens when you disconnect. K5 gaining on Angie slowly but surely. Half a second. It was 7/10, it was 6/10, now it's down to 4, and now he'll have an even better chance. Diamonds, please DM if the safety car comes out. Boah. Mumford's immediately left, so something's really gone wrong. Oh, K5 off the road. K5 gone wide, and that will hurt his exit. Down to the first corner, and he doesn't even need to use defensive mode. In fact, I think he might be clipping on the straight, and he is clipping, and that allows K5 to get closer, but it doesn't allow him to get side by side with him. Excellence stuck behind Bert. Zephyr stuck behind Lee Bob as well. Lee Bob for Alpine now, formerly Mercedes, formerly Ferrari, now at Alpine. And Hessam with the Mercedes representation, despite what it looks like. And the Aston Martin was giving a really bright glow ahead. That is one of the most interesting visual bugs I've seen in a while from this game. One of the not so bad ones, one of the ones that actually look kind of nice if it pops up randomly. As long as you're not too close to the car ahead, then you just get flashed with a bright light. No one wants to be blinded like that. Zephyr's got full battery, and he's not using it totally effectively because he is going over 100%, so he's essentially wasting battery. And he could easily be past Lee Bob at this stage, but he is leaking the battery in trying to save it. He's over-saving it, essentially. He's going very wide, missing a lot of apexes. Let's go back to the lead, and this time K5 is much, much closer, but he's wide again at the same corner. How does he keep getting away with this? I don't know. Maybe he's losing time, or maybe that was his second warning at the Grand Prix. K5 now gains. K5 now gains. He looks for the move on the outside. Angie didn't even go defensive, but now he has to. Angie is forced to the outside line. He had the inside, but K5 turns it into the inside of his own. But Angie fights back and turns it into the inside line for the next two corners. This is absolutely epic battling between the two race leaders. Angie holds the inside line. Angie holds the high ground, and K5 has to sit for another half a lap behind the Williams. He is doing an absolutely stellar job to make sure that it's not a Ferrari win. He wants Williams to stay in the lead of the championship, and at this rate he is doing a very good job considering it's a one-man effort without Big Mel involved. Excellence is still in the podium places, and in about 2 laps time his hards are going to be better than his medium tyres. And NSO Burt is about 7/10 away. Robot reaction in P5, 0.6 of a second separating him and NSO Burt. I think he's more trying to cling on to the DRS than trying to make an overtake. Robot's not been particularly quick last season, but maybe he's found a slight step up going into this season, so let's see how things go. K5 M5 trying to go for the lead on Angie, and now he does it much, much easier. K5 has got it, and as they get closer to their pit stop windows, there's K5 at the front of this train. No, why isn't it charging? Right, that was a weird one. There we go, now it's charging. Robot Reaction versus NSO Burt. It's getting very, very feisty between them. Robot, I said he was only trying to cling on to the DRS, but it looks like he's going on the attack for real this time. NSO Burt having to go slightly on his mirrors and drive to the Haas car behind him. But Robot manages to stay behind him. He can't get ahead just yet. And Angie is not letting K5 get away at all. Angie actually has the same amount of battery as K5. So he has the DRS onto turn 1 now. And he'll be easily back in the lead as long as there isn't a huge battery burning difference. But there might be, because K5 might like that track position. He found it so hard to get past Angie in the first place. Is K5 even going to fight this? Angie's going to try it. Angie's going to use his overtake, and Angie's going to repass him. K5 M5 down to second, but I don't think he was particularly concerned about keeping the position on that particular lap. He's thinking more about the long term. Fexin gets the position ahead of Sefa, who's now very much in the clutches of Libob, and Hessam behind him. Arweb is P10, Mumford's P11. Oh, and Mumford has pretty much given up, so... Angie leading, K5 second. I think it's been a good race so far. It's been a very, very strategic one. It does need to open up at some point, but it hasn't opened up for them just yet. They need to just try figure something out to get separated on their strategies. Is one of them going to try undercut the other? Is one of them going to try overcut the other? I'd say the overcut's very powerful at Qatar actually, if you don't lose track position to anyone else on raw pace, because one lap of much fresher tyres is not as good as having slightly fresher tyres for about 15 laps, such as the length of the hard stint. K5 gets closer, but he doesn't want to go for a move on Angie right now. K5 with his upgraded sim rig and wheel. Angie with, I don't know what wheel he uses, but I imagine it's a pretty good wheel compared to last season, because he's doing much better than he did last season. He might become a winner of D2. He has already become a winner of D3. So let's see how this one pans out. Angie stays ahead of K5. They are driving defensively into the corners. Excellence 1.7 seconds back. NSO Burt 4.5 tenths back. And Robot's no longer being a threat to NSO Burt. Fexin in P6 he does not have DRS on the cars ahead. He is very much driving to his mirrors right now. He has to make that Aston Martin as wide as possible. 2 meters ain't going to cut it. He needs to make it cover pretty much the whole racetrack if he wants to keep these cars behind him, because there's about 3 queuing up ready to make it pass should there be any slight error in his judgment. Angie still ahead of K5, but K5 should now try get the lead. This is pit stop time if you're going for the undercut. It's not the best way to go about things, but with a brilliant outlap and a little pulling out of DRS, it can be possible. Neither of them pit. Both of them want to carry this on, and now they're getting into the ideal pit box. This is the ideal lap to box. K5 now gets ahead, and he'll have track position should he stop this lap. Now that one is going to be crucial, because you want to be ahead by the pit stop phases, because that gives you a huge tactical advantage when you're boxing. Excellence in P3, 1.4 seconds behind. He is closing back up to the race leaders. Maybe that's why they're not battling so much, because both of them are wary about the threat that Excellence provides to their chances. Libob pits. Libob out on hard tyres. That's his undercut attempt in action right now. Angie and K5. Oh, Angie's had a big slide, and now that releases K5 a little further in. 7 tenths now the gap, and Angie still has DRS, but he does not have a good chance now to try get K5. It's going to be a little more tough. Excellence with a 3-second pen. That's a crucial one. He is within DRS of them. That's showing the power of the hard tyres now. But with 3 seconds, that is a huge amount of time lost. And Angie pits. He wants the undercut. He doesn't want the DRS for another lap. He wants the undercut. And Excellence now has a free DRS boost with no car ahead of him. Angie boxing. And is it going to be a nice and clean stop? Stops on his marks. Very, very nice from the Williams pit crew. There's a delay. He had a very slow reaction exiting the pits. And that's going to hurt his undercut chances. Now, is he going to come out ahead of R-Web? That's the key. No, he's not. R-Web stays ahead. And R-Web might be in a position to disrupt the leaders because he's going on for another 5 laps or so. Hessam gets past Steffer. He's up into P6, but he's got a lot of pens now. Fexin still with that glowing rear wing for some reason. It's another one of those EA moments where you don't know how they do it, but they do somehow do it. NSO Burt in the podium place with Angie boxing, and all of them are going longer, particularly Excellence, because, you know, he is on the hard tyres, so he is eventually gonna go onto the mediums, and he's gonna have a big tyre advantage, as we saw with Hessam yesterday on Angie. That was slightly different because Hessam had so many time pens it didn't matter. He was basically going to finish the race from a different postcode anyway with those pens. K5 responds. NSO Burt also responds. Both of them into the pits together. NSO Burt very, very slow. He doesn't know where the pit line is. And Excellence is the only one going longer. So they've all responded to Angie's undercut. And now it's going to be nice and close between them. R-Web is almost going to be... R-Web's going to be in the way by the end of this lap. Because the gap was 2.7 when he exited the pits. And now the gap's 1.4. And R-Web has now got a 3-second pen. And Angie needs to have gotten him on this straight, because now he's going to catch him before the end of the lap. Now, it will take a while for them to warm up the tyres, but Angie's slow stop has meant he's come out actually further behind K5. And now R-Web and K5 are going side by side. R-Web wants to stay ahead, and he does. R-Web in the V-carb is giving K5 a lot to think about. If K5 had gotten past R-Web, then it would have been basically game over. But now it is very much game on. With R-Web having not boxed, he is now playing a crucial role in this race by slowing down the race leaders. And that is going to only strengthen Excellence's position out in front. K5 tries to switch back, tries to get him on the exit, around the outside. Is he going to get the move done? R-Web sticks it to the inside, but K5 has the traction. And now Angie's turn to try and get past him. Now there's a good chance into the flat out triple right-hander with a good exit and a lot of battery use, but he has to get this done right now, because if he doesn't get past now, he's not going to get past till the end of the lap. He's going to try this round the outside. Is it going to end in... Oh! That is as on the limit as you can go when it comes to side-by-side action, and that was simply superb. And K5 now has fresher tyres than Angie. That undercut threat was, in the end, quite woeful. Now R-Web will have DRS, but so will NSO Burt. And NSO Burt, he doesn't even need to think about fighting him. It's almost a drive-by pass. And R-Web has played his role in holding up the race leaders now. I feel like there was a chance maybe to hold him up after the hairpin to the end of the lap, but R-Web did what he could, and now Angie has a clean shot at K5. It is a 1 lap tyre difference in K5's favour, but it shouldn't be too detrimental. The only thing of note is how much benefit Excellence would have gotten from R-Web's whole hold-up shenanigans, which means that Excellence will be much more of a threat at the end of the race when he makes his pit stop. NSO Burt has a track limits pen. K5 and Angie don't. They are perfectly clean so far. We'll check how many warnings they have. Excellence on 1. Excellence on 2. Excellence on 4. Yeah, but we're meant to be looking at Angie. Angie on 1. Angie on 2. So Angie's on thin ice actually. Very, very thin ice. And I don't really see any warnings for K5 anyway. K5 has kept it clean the entire way. That's quite impressive. Fexin into the pits. And Sefer now gets past Hessam. They are now in P2 and P3 having those hard tyres that are carrying on. Fexin becomes the first car to try and make the mediums overcut work. Where does he filter out? He filters out behind Robot. Robot will have to think about him later on in the race because he is going to close up to him. And he is going to close up to him quite quickly. NSO Burt with another time penalty. That is ruling him further out of contention. Excellence only has 3 seconds. It depends on how powerful the medium tyres end up being. He can box this lap or he can box next lap. Both are pretty good laps to make their stops. I'm stops now though. It's a little bit early, but it might work on the strategy if he was failing with those hard tyres. Hessam gets another 3-second track limit pen. I'm frankly dying inside watching all this unfold. It's not looking good, Rev. 9 seconds. 9 seconds, honestly, that's mad. That's crazy. I can't even with this. Whoa. How many time pens is too many time pens? Hessam's your answer for this weekend. Luckily, next time out in Bahrain, track limits aren't such an issue. Don't get me wrong, they can still catch you out in several corners, but it's a lot more manageable. Qatar, though, it just begs you to go off the road, begs you to go as wide as you can. I kept getting track limits pens when I was practicing for this race. Sefer and Hessam both in the pits. They both chose this lap to make their stops. They're both going to come out the pits together, with Robot having made an effective undercut on them, and Lee Bob has made an effective undercut on them as well. So, but it's 5 lap hards versus completely fresh mediums. It's not a contest here. So Sefer is... Oh wait, that's not Sefer, that's Mumford as a back marker. It's going very, very slowly there. Lebob's going to be losing a lot of time to Sefer, and Hessam behind him is going to be all over his gearbox on fresh medium tyres versus old hard tyres. Can he get him into this corner? No, he can't. Hessam tries to switcheroo, up and under, left and right, tries to find a way to plant Formula 1 car sized hole, but he can't do it. Excellence into the pits, and the gap is 20.3 seconds when he makes his pit stop. Let's see what the stop time is going to be for him. Nice and quick or a little slow? Okay. Onto the mediums, and it's perfectly away for Excellence. Right through his Ferrari mechanics. And Angie will be out the pits ahead, but it's going to be a lot closer. Angie sets the fastest lap. K5 is right on his gearbox. K5 goes around the outside again. He really likes the outside line. Angie sticks it to the inside. They make contact. Angie almost spins. Angie had a half spin yesterday as well. It was pretty much the same nature. And Excellence is only a couple seconds behind. And on much fresher mediums, Excellence has now put himself in a position to win this race. At the minimum, take a podium. NSO Burt will be easy pickings. But Angie and K5 are no slouches in defence, so let's see how this one pans out. Mumford is very, very far behind with his disconnect. I wonder if they even set the AI properly. This doesn't feel like 80. D2 is not this quick. Hessam 8 tenths up, and he's set purple sector 1. Hessam is flying on these fresh medium tyres. He will be looking to try and make up some places, but he also needs to pull away from Lee Bob because of all the extra time pens he's been acquiring. Let's see, 9 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 9 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds. It's an even split of penalties, but 5 cars have gone penaltyless, so this is a good sign for them. I think there was a Season 2 or Season 3 race where I was the only finishing car that didn't get a track limits pen. Qatar's a ruthless track for it, and even more so now that the curbs are wider and the track is narrower and the lap times are slower, it's even easier to run out wide. Vexin sets fastest lap with a 24.0. Hessam beats him though with a 23.8, and fastest lap points are much welcome at the regime. Excellence is only 3 tenths away. Oh, wait, NSO Burt spins! Excellence spins as well! It's a double spin! He couldn't avoid him! He did avoid him, actually, but he got caught in an incident of his own. NSO Burt spun, and Excellence tried to avoid him, but he touched a patch of gravel, and round she goes very, very quickly. Excellence's Ferrari, nice pirouette, straight into the gravel, and his race is pretty much over for the podium. and now Fexin inherits a podium place, and I don't think he'll catch K5 and Angie, but what a double disaster for Hessa, for NSO Burt, and Excellence. Ferrari and Red Bull in the mud there, with that spin synchronized almost. Excellence could still get Hessam though. Hessam's got way more pens. And Sefer, oh, he's looking for the move on NSO Burt. Burt was relying on the undercut, but he's made himself so vulnerable with his spin now. NSO Burt trying to look for a gap. K5 in the lead. Sefer tried to get P5, goes for a switchback. NSO Burt sees it coming, tries to get him on the exit, but he can't quite do it. Now he can though, and Angie gets K5 at the same time. It's 2 overtakes going on at once. Angie ahead of K5 and Sefer ahead of NSO Burt. And Hessam needs to close up to NSO Burt as quickly as he can. They look from the cars like their teammates, but they're not actually. Hessam actually drives for Mercedes. Excellence is so close to him. He could be on his way to fight back very, very quickly. And now down the inside into turn 6. This is a hella risky move to try make. Hessam sticks it on the outside. Excellence didn't do anything stupid there. Trying it is very, very risky. Very, very risky, but he's come out of it alive and well. Oh, well, he was down to D2, but he's still pretty hopeless. At this rate, he might go down to D3 next season. This is pretty hopeless to watch, honestly. Hessam versus Excellence. Angie and K5 are still locked together. It's anyone's game for who out of them two are going to win. But Angie, I didn't ask him if he could win yesterday in the post-race interviews, because I didn't think he'd be within a shot. I thought he'd have a lot more threats going on, but Arweb is really under-delivering. Excellence had his spin. Excellence now gets past Hessam, so he's made up slight ground, and now he catches back up to NSO Burt. And back to the scene of the crime at turn 3. This is where NSO Burt spun and Excellence had a spin with him. Oh, Burt's off the road again. Excellence will have PTSD seeing that. But no disaster this time. He needs to start pushing through the track limits a little bit more. That may seem a bit counterproductive considering the pens he's already got. But there's only one way to go faster, and it's to use more of the track width. And NSO Burt is going to be much slower on these hard tyres. The tyre advantage is always a nice, valuable perk to have. And Excellence is wide. Burt was wide on the entry. He had a good exit from NSO Burt. And now he'll have to wait and get the DRS through the triple high speed. Hessam is behind them. Very, very close. Lee Bob is right. No, he's not right there. He's 5.1 seconds adrift. The next car after NSO Burt will be Sefer. K5 and Angie is a race-long battle, but this is a battle that decides the end race positions, because they're going to keep passing and repassing, just like this. But if Excellence gets past Burt, he is not going to be looking back. So, does he get the move done? Yes, he does, and that's crucial for Excellence's race, because NSO Burt isn't going to be able to fight him back in the same way that K5 and Angie have been swapping places for the entire race. Hessam is looking for a chance on the pair of them. There won't be any chances presented, especially because Excellence is pulling away quite quickly from both of them. He was pretty washed last season, but Excellence is back with a bang, it seems. NSO Burt locks up a little bit, and Hessam now goes through on NSO Burt. Much less resistance this time around. Actually, I lied about that. NSO Burt pushing him all the way to the outside of the track. Breaks late, and that was elbows out defending from NSO Burt to make up for his mistake. Hessam still stuck behind him. Lock up from Burt though, and Hessam will be pretty close on him. Sefer is giving Robot Reaction a hard time now. Robot up to P4 with the undercut, but the undercut now is going to expire and turn into an overcutter's paradise. Hessam and Burt are pretty close. Will Hessam get him this time? Slight lock up on the rear. Sefa now is trying to get Robot. He's weaving on the straight. Angie gets past. Excellent sets the fastest lap. And is Sefa going to get the move done on the inside? Yes, he is. But this time, on the outside. Oh, Robot! Absolutely late on the brakes there. And I thought he got the move done, but Robot appears out of nowhere to just park the bus beautifully. Good defense from Robot on the older hard tyres. And he's now into turn 5, defending again, but he was defending thin air this time. Oh, big risky move. And thank God he didn't try it. And Excellence might get some free real estate off of this, because Sefa made a mess of it. And Excellence, oh, Robot's taking him out. Robot's taking out Excellence. Robot oversteers, spins out, and Excellence is caught as an unfortunate bystander for the second time this race. Robot just oversteered too much, and that's Excellence's race done and dusted there. Two big disasters for the Ferrari car. Both of them through no fault. The first one was his own fault, but the second one, Robot spins too much. It wasn't a mistaken battle, he just spun, and Excellence was caught. Robot overtaken by Hessam now. Hessam up into P5, but with all those time pens that will be pretty meaningless. Robot might try fight back though. He has DRS. Hessam doesn't have enough battery to defend himself, and Robot gets back past Hessam, so he's going to be in trouble for a little while longer. Excellence will have to chase down Liebov now. They both have 6 seconds, so this is fair, square battle. Right, if you look at this, Fexen's gradually pulling himself into K5 and Angie's tussle. That could be interesting to watch at the end of the race. Sefa he's going to end up P5 at best. Robot's going to end up P4. And then Hessam can end up P6 at best. So these are some decent points for them. Not the time pens, the only impact is Sefa dropping down, and potentially Hessam dropping back down if he gets past Robot, and that's a big if because he got the move done when Robot spun into Excellence, but he couldn't keep it. It's been a while since we checked up on the leaders. Let's see what they're doing. K5 trying to get the lead. He doesn't have the outside line. Angie keeps it to himself. K5 down the inside. Angie holds the outside line. But K5, it doesn't matter whether you push him left or right. He'll still get ahead of you. Hessam past Robot reaction, and this time he makes the move a little more convincingly. And Sefa could not get away from Robot. Hessam will be on his bumper very, very quickly. Excellent past Liebov. Half a second now. He's pulled away very, very quickly. And Excellence is too far away to get into the Battle of Venezuela, so he will spend the rest of his race on his own, just like Arweb has spent the race on his own. And Mumford has spent the race disconnected. Robot gets a time pen, and that will have an impact, because now it gives Sefa a chance to keep P4. Robot, his one thing was that he kept it clean on track limits. He didn't keep it clean in battle, but he kept it clean on track limits. And he doesn't even have that card to play anymore, because it works with Hessam with 9 seconds. It doesn't work with Sefa when he has only 6 seconds. How much is the pens? These are the pens. And let's go back to the battle for the lead, because Fexen has joined them, and Fexen will have only slightly better tyres. 10 versus 12 and 13 isn't huge. Angie down the inside, sending it from downtown. K5 can't do anything. K5 now tries to do something, but Angie breaks late. Angie on the outside, and Angie will have track position for the rest of the lap now. Very, very good move from Angie. They've made at least 10 overtakes on each other throughout this race. It's complete yo-yo between them, battling for top spot. Might they have been able to get away from Fexen if they cooperated? Yes. But are they going to cooperate? No, this is Formula 1. You don't cooperate with your rivals. You race as hard as you can. And they have been racing each other very, very hard today. 7.7 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Shows you the level they have been performing at this race. Building out their gap and putting themselves in pretty much a 2-horse battle, and Fexin joined as the third stallion to try make this an Aston Martin win. We're going to have 3 different constructors on the podium. That's very nice to see. Big refresh from the Ferrari front row lockout we saw at the end of qualifying. Fexin takes a good line into the final corner. K5M5 is in second place, but he needs to watch out for Fexin behind him. He's going to be much more difficult to repass if he gets a move done. Angie is recharging, but what he doesn't see in his mirrors is Fexin going around the outside. Angie sends it in aggressively. Fexin on the outside. Angie almost pushes him wide. It's just hard racing, and now the hard racing gets harder. Oh, that's too hard, and Angie turns in on him. Fexin loses the time, and Angie will probably be in the steward's room after this for what was a dodgy turn-in angle. Didn't leave him enough space there, and Fexin has been ruled out of the battle for the win as it stands. Angie and Fexin making contact. Sefer closing up the gap. Hessam right on his gearbox. Robot staying with them very impressively, but NSO Burt looks for the exit, can't get the exit. And Hessam is, let's see what move he'll try and look for. Sefer is going through these high-speed corners, brake slightly downhill, very, very slight camber into the corner, which helps you grip up. And Hessam now has 3 fast right-handers to try and gain into. K5 pulling away from Angie out of DRS. The battle might be over for the lead. K5 might have gotten the race win through Angie's mistake with Fexin. But let's watch how this one plays out. Fexin gaining on Angie. Angie still has DRS, so Angie's still safe actually. But Hessam has a clean shot. Sefer does not have DRS. Angie gains. Hessam gains. Angie gains too, but that's at the front. The camera we're watching is Hessam putting his actual Mercedes, not Red Bull, up into P4. Good stuff from Hessam. Sefer is down in P5. NSO Burt ahead of Robot. They make contact. Getting very, very aggressive between them. It's side by side into a high-speed right-hander. Who's going to come out ahead? Robot gets ahead, and NSO Burt has to back out of it. He might have been pushed off the track, but I think Robot got ahead before they got pushed wide. And our web now boxes to take the fastest lap of the race from whoever has it. I don't even know who has it. I'll check. I think it was Hessam. No, it's Excellence. Excellence has fastest lap. And he won't even get that because our web is boxed for a fresh set of softs. And he has nothing to lose, so who can blame him? Fexin has put himself back into the battle. And K5 now has track position as we have one final lap of the Qatar Grand Prix to go. It's been thoroughly entertaining throughout the field again. Lots of battles, not a single safety car, not a single VSC. Smaller grids tend to be more entertaining, it turns out. And Angie now going on the outside. K5 had the track position, but it wasn't enough for him. And K5 has lost the lead on the final lap. And he doesn't have the battery to fight him. Angie has absolutely strategized this perfectly to now take the lead away from K5, who's now under threat from Fexin into turn 5. Fexin down the inside. He's not going to back out this time. He's going to go aggressive, and he's going to get second place. K5 has lost 2 places on the final lap, and Fexin might be within a shot of this win, because Angie could be in the steward's room afterwards for his incident with Fexin. K5 losing 2 places on the final lap. Absolute heartbreak for the Ferrari. He might get that second place back, but the race win is firmly in Fexin's hands unless he committed some crime which we never saw. I don't think he did. He's kept it clean throughout this race and put himself in an unlikely chance of a win, which he is now going to be taking with both hands if Angie makes any more mistakes throughout the rest of the lap. Fexin half a second back, and he just needed one more lap to try and get him, and he did not get that chance. NSO Burt had a spin. NSO Burt losing places on the final lap, and Fexin getting closer, but it's not going to be enough. And across the line, he won D3 yesterday, and he's going to win for a second time. Angie wins the Qatar Grand Prix, but there will definitely be a steward's inquiry after that if Fexin makes a report. about the incident at turn 2. K5 takes the podium for Ferrari. Hessam finishes in P6, following a boatload of time pens. Robot P4, even with 3 seconds. He stayed within the necessary 3 seconds he needed. Sefer P5, Excellence, having 2 incidents, P7. Then Libon P8, NSO Bert DNF, he can apply to be classified, but until then he won't be. He has to apply for it. And Webb is now trying for the fastest lap of the race. So let's ride on board. He's 8/10 up on what he needs to try take the fastest lap away from Excellence. He will get the point for it because he is in the top 12, because there's only 11 at the moment. Webb, fresh soft tyres, lots going on. Let's see. Webb out of the final corner, keeps it within the limits, across the line. Does he take the fastest lap? Yes, he does. 9 seconds is better than 25. You know 9 seconds is great. Well, 9 seconds is technically better than 25. I can't say I'm happy about 9 seconds, but it's an improvement. I guess that's all your racing done for the weekend, unless you're secretly reserving in D1. And there is your race winner for the second time, Angie. Austria flag? I didn't know he's from Austria. Huh. You learn something new every day. K5M5 on the podium as well. He got a lot of podiums for Mercedes last season. He continues that with Ferrari, back at the team he started season 3 with. Maybe I have to poach him a second time. Aston Martin on the podium through Fexin as well. So a good result for Flov's Aston Martin as well. Angie winning, Fexin second, and K5 taking the last spot on the podium. Robot with a sensational P4 drive, having kept it cleaner than the others in terms of time pens. Sefer P5, Hessam P6 from last on the grid, so good stuff from him. Excellence caught in 2 incidents, one with NSO Bert spinning out and then one with Robot Reaction. Then it's Libon P8, Webb, who was nowhere for pretty much the whole race, but he did get the fastest lap, having stopped late for it. Then NSO Bert and Mumford Plays completes the field. If anyone wanted their race director removed, I don't have it, so tough luck. Last to P6 is almost good. Almost. It would have been last to P4, but you know, you just... Oh wait, I realized I could, does this lobby hear my voice? I heard that was a thing now. Alright, bye bye. Stream over.